viewpoints and promises made during the following program are not those of WHNZ AM, its staff, management, or parent company, iHeartMedia Incorporated.
It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to hour number 2 of That Business Show, now with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. If you're just tuning in and wondering who Kelly is, it's Kelly Wilson of Edge Business Magazine, and also had a show last year on 1250 on Sundays called Getting the Edge, where she interviewed entrepreneurs in a very similar format to what I do. And I can remember starting that business show back in February 2015 and seeing her name and a picture up on a billboard and thinking I had the only business show in town. And next thing I know, I saw her face up on there.
Yeah, I thought the same thing too, so it's okay.
So we became, friendly competitors, although we didn't really even meet each other until about a year later, I think,
right.
at some networking events. And
Actually, not that long ago.
Yeah, and we became good friends, and now we're here working in studio together each and every morning to bring you positive programming as we talk to different entrepreneurs and community leaders about what they're doing in the community to make a difference. We stay off of the news and the political talk. There's enough of that on the airwaves. I know we get off onto a tangent or two every now and then, especially last year when our next guest who's in studio was in studio last, Michael Murphy, owner of the Michael Murphy Art Gallery. He was in with us last year alongside Charlie the plumber. I know Charlie.
I miss Charlie. I have to tell you. If you're out there, you should come on down because,
Yeah, I heard that
I have to talk now.
That was a memorable moment. I had to watch the recap of the show last night.
It was fun, and Topher was great. So, it was a lot of fun, all in fun.
No, we love Charlie, but whenever Charlie's in studio, if anybody's ever listening to the program, they say, I didn't think you talk politics. Well, it's hard to control Charlie in here. And he's with one of my sponsors, Yeager and Company, and so, we love Charlie and everything. So we give him a little bit of a voice here and there, but we try to direct him on to, some wrestling talk and stuff, but we love Charlie and everything. But you were in here last year with Topher and Charlie.
I was.
And Topher, who is an occasional step in for myself here, just got him all riled up on left-wing talk, and you can't do that with Charlie around. He's a counterpuncher. You hit him with something, he's going to hit something.
It was something to be part of, I have to tell you. I still am, every once in a while I have those flashbacks. But
Michael,
my therapist is working with me on that, so, we're going to see, at some point.
I'm sure you'd have a lot to say now with being so close to the election.
Oh, yeah, no, he was in here a couple weeks ago, and he had to get some stuff in and everything. But, I understand that. It's a passionate election on both sides of the aisle and everything. I'll be glad when this thing is over. I remain neutral on social media, and I just sit back and
I say we put
comments.
them in a ring, let them go at it, whoever, like the WW, just let them go at it.
Just let them go at it.
Whoever walks out, that's who's president.
At this point, I think, I don't know if we have any other alternatives.
Really?
At that last debate there, I almost thought I was watching Monday Night Raw there. With the only thing we were missing was a run-in by Gary Johnson or something, some entrance music to hit and see Gary Johnson flying with a steel chair to the back of the head. I wanted to do
type thing,
So
it might happen.
Nonetheless, you're the owner of the Michael Murphy Gallery. Tell us a little bit about this business.
Well, I'm sorry, it's really early in the morning for me, so I'm a little slow, but I'll do what I can.
We gave you time to wake up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
How many?
Where's the green room? I thought I was going to meet Miley Cyrus was going to be here. They're like, that's what I'm promised, and I show up there. Oh, there's no green room.
These pop stars, they're always running behind.
No food, no catering truck, no makeup.
You got coffee.
I did get coffee.
All right,
Thank you.
That
That worked out well. Do you ever wonder where the caffeine and the decaffeinated coffee goes?
No, where's it go?
What do they do? I don't know. But there should be extra caffeine coffee. Like they should put it in.
I think that's
this
stuff. To be honest with you, the Kawa coffee is pretty strong.
That's true.
I quit drinking it in here because it was like lighting me up, and I was tripping over words and everything, and I just couldn't even stay on point and everything. So
could you do that again?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah,
that could be your new saying for the radio show.
Yeah, because I have low levels of anxiety and stuff, and if I get too much caffeine in me all at once in an anxious moment, like a live production.
My doctor has stuff
for
that. My doctor gives me stuff like whatever you need. There's a pill for it.
Oh yeah, it's called Xanax. Yeah, it's called Xanax.
Whatever.
Yes, and but no, I quit drinking that stuff, man. It was messing me up. So it's high caffeine right there. It should take care of you. Have you had a cup yet?
Yeah, I'm finishing the first 2.
All right,
so
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
be
you
good in an hour.
All right, you should be good now. All
Yeah,
right.
about the time this thing winds down, I'll be wound up. So that should be perfect.
He said there are even people on the streets.
There are. Like, I was driving in this morning. I'm like, who gets up this early? And there's like cars on the road. I'm thinking I'm going to just scoot down because there's not going to be anybody here. It's going to be clean, like 3 a.m. when I'm going home.
So you're the creature of the night. Then you stay up through the night. And what's a normal bedtime for you?
Just said, normal.
Normal.
Anywhere from midnight to 4 or 5. In the
Man, I
morning.
haven't seen that late in a long time. Now, back in my college days, I used to stay out that time. But no,
Yeah,
my
it's a different
bedtime.
world out there at 5 a.m. Especially when you're eating breakfast. All the interesting people, the conversations that are deep and meaningful that you have. You go into these breakfast places at 5 a.m. They're just. It's an interesting time.
No, I can remember that back in my days in college, going into the IHOPs and then Crystal Burger, which was a hot spot when I was in college, especially after the bar getting to 39.
That's still one of my favorites.
I haven't been there in years.
Oh,
The
they have
39-cent
one.
cheese sliders
Not
and
too
stuff.
far.
I won't talk about how much they were when I was going through the drive-through, but it was less than that. But yeah, we used to go through and get a bag, and the next morning, when you wake up, your stomach's like a rock. You're like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, that's one of those good drunk foods. That and White Castle.
And then you have to count
I
the
miss White
wrappers to
Castle.
see how many you really ate.
Right,
You're like,
right.
oh.
Yes.
Anyway,
It's pretty good even when you're not drunk. I don't know. It's
Really?
one of- I love those little burgers and the chicken, and they have corn dogs and chili dogs. And
are they sponsoring the show now for you? or
They're
what?
our newest sponsor, by the way.
I'm
yeah.
I guess they should be. I
Do you
need to
get
stop
like a
by after
drive-through
the show.
special or something?
I might have to ask for one.
I'm just wondering, like, wow. So,
Well,
anyway.
so Michael, how many years have you had the gallery now?
I started in '86, but it wasn't like a day I started. It was like no one would hire me, and I couldn't find a job. So I started a business, and we actually started in the framing side of it. I grew up in the art business. My family's in the art business, so that was a natural progression. But I started out framing, and literally no one would hire me. I worked for a bunch of people in town, and couldn't find a job. Someone had a job for me to do, and I did it, and the rest, as they say, is history or something. But I love there are parts of what I do that are great. We now have expanded. We have a 5,000 square foot retail gallery on McDill. We're moving into our production into a new warehouse starting this week. So we'll be in
Oh,
a new.
congratulations.
Thank you. Our framing is moving into a 3,000 square foot production space. So it's, we're getting it back up. We do a tremendous amount of corporate work where we go in and do a lot of corporate branding. We help corporations that we look at artwork as part of branding. So we go in and help them figure out what it is that they're marketing to, who are their client base, whether it be their customers or their staff. Everybody is different, and we help them take their budget and help create a feel in their space. We've done some branching out with graphics and different designs and helping USL, which is United Soccer League, is a big client of ours, and they're expanding like crazy, and we've helped them do a lot. So that's fun because you get a whole concept. And then, when we work in the gallery and the retail, people come in, and I say we carry things that make people smile and happy. I don't want to get up in the morning, look at a piece of art in my house and go, what is the meaning of life? I just don't.
Right.
I want to come home at night after I've been out in the world and go, oh, I love that. And that's what we sell most of the time. I mean, I leave the collection, the museum, the academic world to those people. So, we have a couple of, amazing museums in the Bay Area, and those are the people that we leave that business to. But for your home, we carry mostly, people say, what is your gallery? It's mostly two-dimensional mid-career painters. So mostly they're paintings on the wall. We like that. They're all professional. They all have, their bios. They come from all over the country. We tend to stay away from local artists only because there's a lot of venues for them to have access. And then the other thing, obviously, I came through the framing business, and we're the people that do the things that no one else can do. So we just did a sword for a client and took the casting off and carved the corners to match the sword, the shield and the sword, and red leather, had all these coatings on it. We put that up, and we just do a lot of different, whatever you think, we think of it as a very creative.
Is that how the Michael Murphy Gallery developed? Was from custom framing? That's where you started and the
We
developed it from
did.
there?
I mean, I started. The legend is that
The legend.
The legend. Let me try to keep this urban legend going and make it even bigger. But we started framing, and And the first job I did, I actually did in a friend of mine had a shop, and so I bought the material from him, but he didn't have room for me to work in. So I set up, sawhorses in a parking lot. And that was how I got started. And, it wasn't this big plan of, I'm going to build this business. It was, I needed money to eat and live. Mm-hmm. And, I just went from one to the other. I remember my first space was a 10 by 10 warehouse place that you could have a business. And I had no idea how I was going to pay that overhead, when I was paying that rent. God, I wish I had that place back. I mean,
from that to a now 5,000 square foot.
and we'll be at 8,000 with the
Wow.
with the new production.
Were you a woodworker, or how did you find that you had a talent with custom framing? How did that come about?
I always was in the around the art business. My family was in it. My cousin and my brother were both at USF in the fine art department in my teens, and I used to hang out there. So, and a lot of things out there were going on at that time, and it was very influential in my development. But we had people like James Rosenquist were coming through out there, who's very big, Rauschenberg, Dine, and they were both photography majors. And so while all that was going on, I would be hanging out in the photo lab helping the photo students. Now, it sounds like I was very intellectual and I wanted to have this. The reality is when you're 14, 15 years old, you either become a musician or a photographer, because that way, you can get your girlfriend to take off her clothes.
Oh,
so
nice.
I am 14 years old helping. Oh, no, I'll be happy to put those through the dryer for you. You go on, So it worked out really well for me. I have quite a collection at my house now, so that I kept from my childhood. But it was it was just very influential. And it really wasn't some grand scheme of being driven. It was a matter of I had a talent and I loved it. And we've now built into where what we do, what I carry, the type of framing we do, there's nobody probably out of New York that carries what we carry.
Yeah, when you say custom framing, elaborate on that a little bit more for me, because somebody who's not, in the art space, I'm just thinking of, just your textbook.
Most people
wood
think
frame.
of what we call big box stores, the commercial arts and crafts that people go in and they run 60% off or 70% off. And I say, just tell me how much you want off up front, and I will give you that when I quote. I'm happy to tell you, if you want 90% off, it's fine. It's a $9,000 frame job, but it's 90% off. So that's what most people are aware of in the public. What we do is go not even a step, much, much further. So we do everything from the very simple framing, to the developing a frame that may be one of a kind. So we have over 8,000 samples on our wall. A lot of them are hand carved or closed corners, they call them.
What type of materials are you working with?
In the frame side, we work with everything from, a lot of wood. We bring things up from raw wood all the way up with karat gold, white gold. We're doing a lot of welded aluminum, steel. A lot of new materials are coming out. We're working with some graphite now on some new things that are really interesting. And then we work with any kind of material to create the presentation. Any artwork, really, I don't care whether it's a poster or whether it's a great piece of art. Presentation is what makes something work. How you want somebody to really see the piece. So if you love it, you want people to love it. If you see that it's this wonderful, bright piece, you want it to be wonderfully bright. You want people to walk. No one walks up to someone and goes, that's a cheap frame, but a great painting, or other way around. They walk up and go, I love this piece. And that's our job, is to exceed your expectation in that. Our job is to show you things that you don't know. So that's, on the framing, but we have access to people literally all over the world. We work with frame builders in Italy. We work with frame builders down in Colombia who do all this big hand-carved wood, and they're just amazing things. And, we just finished this piece with leather. We work silks. We do all kinds. We do custom printing now, where we'll print something and color correct something and get a perfect color when we want to put it together. So really, it's about always using technology, what's available, pushing the envelope, and then preservation is a huge part of it.
Where are you located? You said McDill. What's the address?
I am at 2701 South McDill. We're 2 blocks north of Beta Bay in South Tampa, just down the street from Palmacia Country Club, if you're familiar with that area. So we're right in the heart of Palmacia.
Okay.
So.
Let me take a break here. Currently talking to Michael Murphy, owner of Michael Murphy Gallery, and learn more about this at michaelmurphygallery.com. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project. In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews, and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews, and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Crash on Largo on East Bay Drive, just east of Missouri, will slow you down. Also a crash on 49th Street near Almerton, and also northbound 49th Street north of 54th Avenue North. The right and center lanes blocked there due to a crash investigation. Crash on southbound Dale Mabry at Bierce, and also a crash on US 41 at State Road 52. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uderick, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by McDonald's. Sip into a great morning with McDonald's McCafe Coffee. McDonald's McCafe Coffee is made with sustainable sourced 100% Arabica beans and brewed hot and fresh just for you. Enjoy any size hot McCafe coffee for $1. Only at McDonald's for a limited time.
Today, partly sunny with just a 10% chance of showers, high 88. Tonight, mostly clear, low 70. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a 10% rain chance, high 87.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to That Business Show, now with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Quick reminder about the upcoming Business Symposium on October 28th. Tickets available for $39 for TBBO members and $59 for non-members. Pick up your ticket over there at TampaBayRadio.com and also get the invite to the pre-event VIP mixer at the Tampa Club on this Thursday, October 20th from 6 to 9. So it's a 2-for-1 event. Again, tickets, TampaBayRadio.com. In studio with Michael Murphy, owner of Michael Murphy Gallery, and learn more at michaelmurphygallery.com. And Michael, what are some of the ways you showcase the gallery? Any upcoming events, things for the public?
We actually have 3 shows. We have one that we are doing on the 19th of November, and it's Robin Austin, who's an artist from New York who we're working with. He does these photo montages, Frank Sinatra, Muhammad Ali, and he takes these photographs of their life and moments in their lives, and he actually creates these larger images. So you stand back and you might see Muhammad Ali, you walk up and there's all these different photos of his life and what they mean. So there's hundreds of photos that make up an image. And the images are printed on aluminum, so they're beautifully produced and large. And he's got a whole series of those. We'll have about 15 of his paintings or his pieces of work in the gallery. And we're going to be doing in February, Bill Mack, who's a very famous artist. He actually has the H from the Hollywood sign, and he will actually paint on some of the metal for that if you'd like to have that. And he does all these beautiful paintings. So some really interesting things are coming up in the gallery. And if you go to our website, you can get on our mailing list, and we'll keep you up to date on what's going on. So we're excited about those shows coming in.
Yeah, that's exciting. When were the dates?
Well,
November
the first
19th?
one we're doing right now is November 19th. That is set. And then we're working on Bill Mack, who will be somewhere either the end of January or first couple of weeks of February is what we're working on. It depends on, if Tampa Bay goes to the Super Bowl, then, that's going to affect our timing a little bit.
Is there a chance of that happening?
Oh, they're 2 and 3. It's still too early yet, but
yes, there is. I think this is the best time of year in football because everyone believes their team can go to the. I love this time of year, so no one's out yet.
Right.
There's always a chance.
How do you choose the pieces for the gallery? Do you buy a piece and resell it? Is there a system to this? How does that work?
There's all different ways. A lot of our artists are friends with artists, so they'll recommend some of their friends to be in there, and we will take that very seriously. I travel. I go around and we travel from one coast to the other. New York, Atlanta, Miami. We've gone out to L.A., San Francisco, so to find artists and bring them in. And that's really what I look at our gallery doing, bringing artists from other places that you can't find or can't see. And the great thing about art so far, knock on laminate, but the great thing is you can't really see art on a web page or on the internet. You can't get the feel, the depth, the subtlety, and that's great. And so we work with these artists and bring these pieces in that you don't see other places, and find this talent. So, and then sometimes people walk in, and we have a process for that where we review them, and we'll put a lot of artists up. It's not so much what I like as much as it is what we think works for us. We have some criteria. Every artist has to have a professional background, whether they've gone to the university for that or whether they've spent 30 years and have all this background in these shows. But we don't really work with what we call emerging artists. It's a nice term. We don't work with people who just, I started a year ago, what do I do? There's a lot of that out there, and we also don't work with people who don't really seem to have, they've been doing it a long time, but they haven't really found their niche. So mostly, we're looking to bring a professional level. We're looking for people to come in and know that what they're buying is consistent. We don't sell, generally speaking, unless we do a show, we don't sell investment art. That's a very touchy subject. I always tell clients when they go somewhere and go, oh, it's an investment. What can you do? I'm like, call Sotheby's, call Christie's, tell them you have it. Ask them if they would like to take it for their auction. If they say yes, you have an investment piece. Whether it's worth more or not is a separate issue. But if they'll take it, my term of investment is there's a mechanism to easily get rid of it. You can sell it when you want.
Is that like an auction type?
Yeah, I mean, it can be, but call an auction house and be, I have it. Do you want it? And if they say yes, then yes, you have a way of getting rid of this piece. And if you put money in, maybe it'll go up. Yes, sir.
All right. We got to hit the bottom of our break again. Currently talking to Michael Murphy, owner of the Michael Murphy Gallery, and learn more at michaelmurphygallery.com. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, I'm Kelly Ham from Billmeyer Ham Consulting. Did you know that one of the biggest challenges that leaders face is getting their employees to be engaged, motivated, and producing amazing business results? At Billmeyer Ham Consulting, we'll help you transform your workforce culture from one that might be underperforming, maybe mediocre, to achieving amazing business results. You see, we realize that your workforce culture is equally as important as your business plan and your business strategy. The two must be aligned in order for you to reach your desired business and financial goals.
Carol,
hey Jim.
I just got this plan that could really help with our process here.
Okay, why don't you just have a seat and let's go over it.
Let us help you transform your workforce culture by leveraging your most important assets, your people. I want to know what's going on in your organization. Let us help you transform your workforce culture. Let's have a conversation.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Through the airport area near 275. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Extragen Temporal Scanner Thermometer. All busy moms and dads could use less stress in their lives. The Extragen Temporal Scanner Thermometer takes stress out of caring for a sick child. No need to even wake your child. A gentle forehead scan is all it takes. Get your Extragen Temporal Scanner Thermometer at Walmart or other fine retailers today.
1250 winds weather center forecast. Partly sunny skies. Upper 80s near 90 for the high today. Overnight low in the upper 60s. Should remain relatively dry all day. Forecast tomorrow. Temperatures down just a bit in the mid 80s. And still looking at those upper 70s for the upcoming weekend. Impact Radio 1250 winds WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. If you're wondering how to get on the program, the members of the Tampa Bay Business Owners, that's one of the benefits. So that's one of the ways, by joining the Tampa Bay Business Owners. Also, you can fill out the request form over at tbsinterview.com and see the benefits and answers to a lot of FAQs about the program. Again, over at tbsinterview.com.
Well, Michael, before we went to break, we talked a little bit about how you got started with the gallery. Okay, so how many years ago? Like 80...
87, like...
Yeah, quite a while ago. So how did you transition then from the 8x10 small gallery that you were into this 5,000?
Or it was just a workshop. It had a table.
It had a table.
Mm-hmm. The mini barn package you bought from Home Depot, right?
Yeah, there wasn't a Home... Actually, Home Depot wasn't around. Anyway, let's not go back that far. So,
I'm sure it's gradual, obviously.
It was. I mean, it's a very interesting growing a business the way I grew it, because it's not that I have a business degree and background and sat down with a business plan and I'm, have everything laid out and did a pro forma and, I basically needed to work and have money. And, I love these, but, we're only going to lose money I'm like, I've never lost money. I can't lose money. Like,
That's not
this
an
is how
option.
I eat. So I'm like, I'm paying. I'm like, every year they're like, you made this much money. I'm like, where is it? If I made that much money, it should be in my bank account. Like, I'm not living that well, So I don't really understand this whole tax thing and how you make all this money, but you live really poor. I mean, I'm not Donald Trump. I need to get some lessons from him because I pay too much in taxes.
Yeah,
but
our government is complicated basic business. Income, expense. You pay money, you get money. You pay.
If
money,
I knew
it's
what I was
complicated.
getting into, I'm not so sure I would start a business today, especially
It's
a small
tough.
business.
It's tough. Yes,
It's but all the different compliance, all the different overhead numbers, and if you make a mistake, the government is not we understand, we'll work it out. It's very much of a penalizing a small business.
Absolutely. And there's no pat on the backs when you do well from them. It's like, pay us now.
Right. Oh no, I think that a lot of the regulations, and I think it's very easy to go out and put through a small business tax of some type that no one will notice, and all of a sudden the city sends me a notice for something, the county, the whatever. We get notices sometimes from different organizations that go, you owe us this, and I go to my account. He goes, well, you don't, but it's cheaper to pay it than it is to buy it.
Yeah.
So it's tough. But no, growing, every time you grow a business, my business, it was just a matter of we had to survive and we had to have the space. But every time we grew, I'm like, how am I going to pay this overhead? And we grew and grew. And at one point, about 5 years ago, we were in 10,000 square feet. We had a 5,000 square foot production and a 5,000 square foot gallery, and I'm sitting there going, and I'm looking at the numbers, and somehow you do it. You just
make things happen.
You make it happen. So every time I got a new space, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make this happen.
So you're the type of person who just did it and hoped it would work out, and it's worked out for you.
I jump off a lot of cliffs with no parachute, and try to figure it out on the way down.
I think that's the true entrepreneur.
A lot of people,
spirit.
that's how they've succeeded. If you spend all your time planning, it's never going to be the right time. It's never going to be perfect, and then it doesn't work out. It's just interesting how things come together in life.
Right. Well, I think the biggest lesson in any small business is being tenacious. It's not that I'm that smart or that I've figured something out. It's just, as I say, I get up every morning, put one foot in front of the other.
Not this early, though.
Not this early.
Well, now, but isn't it time for a drink? Don't we have a Bloody Mary or something?
What time's your gallery opening?
We're 11 to 6 Monday through
6,
Friday,
okay.
and we're 11 to 4 on Saturday.
All right.
But if you have money and you want to buy something, I'll open any time, day or night.
So
Just
through
call.
the years, what best advice you've ever been given from someone else?
There's tons of things. One is if someone offers you money, take it. We used to not take deposits on jobs and sit there, and people go, do you want money? I'm like, oh, no. Small business owners have the sense you want to make everyone happy,
True.
And the other thing was don't discount what you do because you're not going to be around. Mm-hmm. So a couple of those things have been really big for me that I remember. But, there's hundreds of little things that you learn over the years and messages that people give you. But, it's a balance act always. You can't be, you can't think of yourself as having too much and I'm worth this no matter what. I look at my time as worth what somebody's willing to pay me, and if I have nothing, that time is gone. So I'll take what I need to take to fill it. If have a lot of work, as we are now where we're at, we can't, I can't sell something for cost just to keep the doors open. So it's there's everything is a balance in life, and a business is no different. And we struggle all the time, just like any other business. We don't have the resources a larger company does. Now we're into this age of internet and streaming on TV. That I'm like, wow.
He was like, wow, we're on the internet.
Yeah, I'm like, that's internet. I mean, that 72 DPI thing is gone apparently, and you can do some amazing things. And now it's a whole new thing. Social media is a huge part. I joke
I had that lesson a little bit earlier in the show. The social media lesson.
But, I joke that, I used to have a policy against people being on the internet in our business. It's like, oh, here's your policy. You can't be on the internet. You can't check your media. You can't do this. You can't do that. Now we're paying people to come in and do exactly what we used to have rules against, and
it's to adapt with the times.
It is. And it's not, and nothing's going away. It's not, oh, we don't need our website so we can do this or this. It's constantly an addition. We're on 18 different platforms now.
Is social media a component of your marketing plan these days now?
It is. It is, and I think it's going to be bigger and bigger. I think that a lot of people get all their information that way now, or most of their information that way, and I think that will continue. So if you're not going to be there, you're not going to be around.
So do you have a presence on all of the major ones then?
We have a presence. We're managing 6 pretty well. we are on 18. The rest, we're working on, but yeah, and each one is different, and each market, and it's becoming much more segmented in what we're doing. So, our Facebook presence is very strong, whereas our Snapchat, for instance, is not, because that's a younger audience and not necessarily what we're targeting right now.
Now, have you ever wanted to grow out of the location on McDill, or just happy with the one?
No, we'd love to. I mean, that was our original concept. We just happened to expand in the middle of the incoming whatever we just went through, the recession. So, no, the idea was, I think St. Pete's a great market for us. I think that especially downtown.
They have a whole arts district down there.
They do,
now.
and they have a very different dynamic in the people that live there and what they spend money on than even Tampa. It's interesting that we have this community we call Tampa Bay, and yet Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete are dramatically different in their mindsets.
Is Tampa supportive of the art community
more
versus
so?
St. Petersburg, for instance?
They're very different. Tampa is supportive, but in a very different way than St. Pete. I think that St. Pete has definitely kind of eclipsed Tampa in what they've made a priority. I think their arts district is great. They've gone out and actually brought some people in and worked with them to make that a part of their community and make it part of the visiting visitors coming. It's part of that. It's part of their local community. It's an economic driver there in Tampa. It really isn't. But it doesn't mean that we don't have that. It's just harder. We have a lot of businesses and corporations here that spend money, whereas I think St. Pete's a lot more of people or homes, individuals. And then Clearwater is a whole different animal. But, we go down to Sarasota, Naples. I mean, we would love to have a regional at the very least.
In terms of the different styles of art, what's popular, what's trending in the Tampa Bay region? The abstract, the scenery, what's
we
popular?
Mostly, our number one still in Tampa, our number one seller is really Florida landscapes. People love Florida. Mm-hmm. They move here. They're born here. And we have such a diverse, just the state of Florida, it's not just a beach. It's not just, northern Florida is beautiful. It's a whole different light, and they have the forests in the different areas. Then you have the grasses up in the St. John's area. So it's just such a diverse state and beautiful. And people think of Florida as outdoors. I mean, you don't think of Florida like, oh, it's skyscrapers and, urban. And we sell a lot of that. And then number two is really abstract and colors, because that people really want their homes and their businesses. They like bright. They want people to have that bright, or interesting, or et cetera. So those are really, and then of course the one of the two most favorite terms is there's transitional, which I have no clue exactly what that means, but we use it a lot. And postmodern if you're in the academic world.
How do you value the art pieces? I mean, because it's obviously in the eye of the beholder, the value of anything. And you see some painters, some of the painters, you get tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars, others who get a couple hundred. And then how do those painters and artists get to that level of pricing? Is it just brand creation?
Some of it. I mean, some of the contemporary artists that are getting huge, millions of dollars have absolutely set out to create that persona so that they could do that. Some artists, it's very organic. It's a matter of, we have a couple of artists right now that we can't, their prices are going up because they cannot produce enough.
Really? Wow.
And so the market is driving their increases in prices. Some, one of the things we get a lot of, and why I think a lot of artists have some issues is, oh, well, if they're getting that, I'm worth that. And I think that's a very dangerous mindset, because you can't compare, that they're very different. So it just depends. If we have artists that have, masters or PhDs in fine art or in painting or in in that world, we obviously, that's a difference than we have somebody who started painting 30 years ago and took a lot of classes. I mean, one is more academic, one is a little.
But the
more.
artists who do, whose demand outpaces what they can produce, is there something that they did? Is it a trend that catches on? What have you seen with the different artists who have succeeded?
Some follow the trends. Absolutely, there's a trend. Art and fashion, if you look on, we are influenced by everything. We're influenced by all of our now internet, social media, et cetera. One of my artists who produced a lot of art years ago would watch what happened on the runways in Paris. And 2 years later, that style, those colors would be, because he worked with, things for the home, and those colors started coming into our home, and they started coming in to our furniture and our clothing, and all of a sudden we like that color. And
Kind of predicting trends.
Right. Well, Pantone comes out every year and goes, these are the colors of the year. And why they do that is that's where fashion goes. That's where home furnishings go. So all of a sudden you start seeing accessories in a color. That's not, sadly, if you want to have conspiracy theories, that's not happenstance.
Mm-hmm.
There is a controlled market to that. And if you, basically it starts in fashion and then it moves into our homes. So if you see a trend in fashion, that you'll see that in your home in 5 years.
Real quick, we'll wrap up the segment. Your location again, though, for listeners tuning in a little bit late.
2701 South McDill in the heart of Palmacia.
All right. Good discussion on this early, I believe it's Tuesday now morning, with Michael Murphy, owner of the Michael Murphy Gallery. So, Michael, we appreciate you stopping in this morning.
Thank you for being here.
And the bar's where? But I do want to say, I really like the Eggs Benedict. I thought your private chef did a great job on that.
Hey, we go all out here.
And anybody who hasn't been here and had their gone into the private dining room that Jamie set up this morning, you really have to.
Michael Murphy, owner of the Michael Murphy Gallery. Learn more at michaelmurphygallery.com. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation. How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today. What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
Heavy traffic on the southbound side of the Veterans Expressway from south of Waters to 275. Also westbound I-4 from 301 to 275. And a crash in Pinellas County on northbound 49th Street north of 54th Avenue North still has the right and center lanes blocked there. Southbound 49th Street approaching Almerton, the left lane blocked at that location, and a minor crash on Bryan-Dairy near Starkey. See traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick. Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer. The Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer is the top choice of doctors, nurses, and other health professionals nationwide. Make it your choice too. The Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer. Get yours at your local Club Warehouse and other fine retailers today.
Partly sunny, 10% rain chance, high 88. Clear tonight, low 70. Tomorrow, partly sunny, 10% rain chance, high 87.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to That Business Show now with Jamie and Kelly of Edge Business Community. So if you were wondering who Kelly is, it's Kelly Wilson sitting over there chiming in from time to time, and so we encourage her to chime in and ask some questions. She's getting the feel for it a little bit, but we're in studio here now with Roy Stegman, who is audio producer and creator of the Complete Audio Producer podcast, and he was with us in the 7 o'clock hour, and rejoining us here in this segment is Dr. Kiran Patel, unable to make it in studio today. So Roy enjoying a little bit of extra time here on the airwaves with us this morning. So Roy, you're also in a band here, Alpha Decay, correct?
Yep. We're a progressive metal band.
I'm a rocker too. You and I shared an event together over at 98 Rock Fest. Saw a great lineup of bands, including Disturbed and my new favorite band, Shinedown, by the way, who, by the way, is returning in December along with Five Finger Death Punch. And so we'll have to check that out. But Alpha Decay, that comes from quantum physics, I believe, right? I don't know where you derived that term from, but I don't know where that came from.
That was actually where we found it when we were looking for band names and whatnot. We were looking at a bunch of science terms because we knew we were wanting to go with a more sci-fi realm, and then we found Alpha Decay. I was like, that's a good name.
Yeah, that has to do with the realm of quantum physics and stuff that I actually enjoy. It's one of my pastimes is studying and watching, astronomy and physics. And because I was a science guy out of high school, and I thought I was going to be a virologist and find the cure for AIDS and all that fun stuff. But no, I ended up becoming a college dropout in the bar every single night and wandering around for 6 or 7 years until I found the default business for all business owners, real estate, and I started selling real estate. Next thing you know, I was good at that. And here I am on the radio talking to Roy this morning about his band, Alpha Decay. You have a show coming up this Saturday. See how I kind of train? That's how my mind thinks, by the way.
Yeah, we followed.
Alpha Decay, you're playing this weekend, right?
Yes, we're playing in Orlando at the Orlando Brewing Company. It's a free show, so if you're in Orlando or want to see us come out, it starts at 7 p.m., I believe.
Where is that at?
That's at the Orlando Brewing Company.
Oh, Orlando Brewing Company.
Yeah, in Orlando.
So what's your position on there? You're the keyboardist, right?
Correct.
Now, how does being an audio producer come into play when you're in the band? Are you're hearing all of the instruments kind of off tune a little bit maybe, or is it all in key? I mean, how is it being, having that ear for audio come into play when you're in the band?
I usually end up becoming the jerk. In fact, I remember when we were having our latest album being mixed and mastered by another guy, I was very critical of the work, but I was also thinking, I didn't want to just keep telling.
You're like Mark Wahlberg was in Rockstar there with his cover band,
right? That was
right?
a good movie.
He was out there getting up on his bandmates for not playing in tune and going off on their own riffs and everything and not paying true tribute to the music. Then they threw him out. Is that who you are there on the verge of being thrown out of the band because you're trying to be a little too perfect with everybody?
Sometimes. It depends on which aspect, but usually I'm much more enthusiastic person in the practice space, but on the recordings, that's where where I'm a little more particular about. But yeah, in fact, I kind of felt like Ben Affleck did in Batman versus Superman for a lot of film aficionados that know what I'm talking about. But
I still haven't seen that movie yet, so you have to fill me in.
Well, in the industry, everybody already knows that Ben Affleck is an award-winning director, award-winning actor, and then now he's in this movie where not everybody in the crew is has made it as big of achievements as he's had, but he's still trying his best to work with them as just an actor. And when I'm not the one doing the production, there's a lot of times where I feel that way, where I know that this person can do so much better. Sometimes I just try and push them to be able to do better. But it's still one of those cases where I do not want to also be breathing down their neck about every little thing.
Everybody gets there when they get there.
Now, Alpha Decay, this is what did you call it again? What type of music?
Progressive metal.
Progressive metal. How is metal progressive? I don't understand that.
Progressive is usually dealing with much more complex music. Like a lot of people that when they think progressive metal, they think Dream Theater and heavier versions of Rush, even where the music is not always in 4/4, like the time signatures are like odd time signatures. In fact, Tool is sometimes borderlining progressive metal, and then you also hear bands like Meshuggah where they do odd time signatures, but they also do it over the regular 4 on the floor danceable beat, which makes it great for everybody because then both the prog heads that listen to a lot of progressive music hear the odd time signature, and then people that aren't very musically inclined hear the 4/4 and it sounds syncopated to them. So that's an innovative thing
that's
I like
audio
about.
talk right there.
Syncopated.
Syncopated is
in
where
sync?
it's like where you have an offbeat where it's like where things are coming off on the offbeat. You hear it a lot. In fact,
so you're actually using those music lessons we learned in high school and in grade school. I remember the time signature and then all that stuff. So you're actually putting that stuff to use in your band. I thought the rockers just kind of got together, just started strumming the strings and pounding the drums, and what it came out, came out. So you're all actually using actual musical tools behind this stuff then.
Yeah, without using the terms.
Right.
Syncopated.
None of your friends in the band understand those terms, right?
Yeah, I mean, we often joke about like, we joke about, well, who in this band can actually read and write music? And one of the guys was like, I can read music, but I have music dyslexia.
Every guy I know who plays guitar is pretty much self-taught. I know a few people that taught themselves and can read the music, and they just pick it up. So really, when they're playing the guitar and just self-taught, they're not really playing the actual proper chords, are they? Then they're just kind of just reproducing a sound that they're hearing. Then am I correct in that?
In most cases, usually as they start getting much more. Their music gets much more progressive and complex, kind of like when they start graduating from Metallica difficulty, the music theory starts to actually play a role, and for them to be able to actually take their music further. Because the biggest advantage I've noticed that knowing music theory for a musician is when they're writing music and they have one part that's awesome and they have nothing else to put with it.
Yeah, interesting stuff. I always find this talk interesting because I don't understand anything about music and all that stuff. I just enjoy listening to it. I always wonder how it all comes together. So you're playing this Saturday where again?
At the Orlando Brewing Company in Orlando.
All right. I would definitely want to check that out. Roy sent me a few invites, and I definitely want to check out the band because I'm a big
Is there a website or anything they can go to?
Yes, we have a website. We have Reverb Nation and SoundCloud. If you go on SoundCloud, search for Alpha Decay Music. Our website is alphadecaymusic.com.
Okay. All right. Roy Stegman, thank you so much for being in studio.
Thank you.
You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
The proceeding was a commercial program paid for by Maloney Productions.